And we are live, George.
Cool. Good evening, everyone. Hope we're doing okay this. Is it classed as an Easter Monday? I don't know. It might be. It might not be. But if you celebrate, happy Easter. If you don't, commiserations after the weekend. But we are obviously here. We're going to chat about yesterday's actions that didn't happen, but did happen, but didn't happen, but did happen. So obviously, I welcome you to my guests. Ravi, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Obviously, not the best weekend to be an Arsenal fan, but hey, good Easter break, and looking forward to getting back on some winning football at some point soon, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Laura, how you doing, mate?
I'm all good, thank you very much. I have seen better weekends in terms of football because my only team that won this weekend was Celtic men, and that's a change for this season. So it is, considering they've not been very good. Celtic women got beat today, Arsenal women get beat yesterday, and Arsenal men got beat on Saturday. Woohoo! Good games for me.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Laura.
That's what I'm here for.
So it wasn't a great weekend. Both my teams lost. I got took off Hannah Hampton's Christmas card list, but that's for a different show. But yeah, and I am really blind. Who would have thought it? Amanda, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm remaining chipper and the sun's shining, and we had a couple of extra days off work. So all in all, apart from the obvious, not bad.
This is where I've got Amanda on. She's like Miss Positive. So when we're all like wanting the world to end, we've got Amanda on. She's like, no, keep smiling. Let's go. Chantel sitting on the edge of a motorway or somewhere. How are you?
Yeah, I actually managed to find a Tesco's car park, so I'm just chilling.
Every little helps, I suppose.
Yeah, it might help us with us. Who knows?
Yeah, if they've got a centre off for a bit of pace in Tesco's, let us know. Cool. Kev, how are you, mate?
I'm not going to lie. Crap.
All right, cool. Right. And that's all we've got time for.
On the way to the game yesterday, I managed to forget about the little van that sits on top of a bridge. And I went flying through at about 60 mile an hour in a 50. So there he was up there taking photographs. So I will have a speed awareness course coming, as well as the defeat. And then today I took the little bike out, just to check it out, having charged a battery Saturday, and stopped at my local supermarket to get a couple of bits, and the battery was as dead as a dodo. So, yeah, it's
a good weekend.
Okay. Yeah, you had a good one then, Kev. Oh, mate. Have I forgot anyone?
No, you've not.
No, I haven't. Have we got any comments in the chat before we deal with the elephant in the room?
Yeah. Doreen has said respect to Chantel for her efforts to make the podcast. As George stated, she's currently sitting on the side of a motorway trying to make this podcast. Had Cadley's come in and said hello, guys. Doreen has also said hi, but obviously he was in before that. Chris Wells says good evening, guys.
Oh, where's he been? It's the first show he's made this year, isn't it? Oh, Chris Wells. He's been missing for ages.
Jason has said hello, everyone. And believe it or not, somebody who's been missing for weeks has decided to show in a weekend that is bad for Arsenal, and that would be Gav. So guess what, George? I'm going to take great privilege in using that wee video we borrowed off certain people, and this is for you guys.
You just made the list!
Gav is my first person on the list.
Evening, Gav. At least you're going to win something worthwhile this season.
Johnny has come in and said, Bottlers FC, considering if you're a Chelsea fan, we put you at the Champions League. So I don't know who bottled what. So it is.
But yeah, And just to remind people that you can say stuff in the chat, that's fine. But just remember, this is a women's football chat show, so the term bottlers doesn't really mean anything for the women's team. So you're kind of wasting your keyboard time. Cool. But it's nice to see you in, Gav. I've missed you last couple of weeks, mate. It's good to see you back. Didn't see you at the bridge, but yeah, never. But I would say I'd see you in Leon, but probably won't see you there either. So just enjoy it, mate. And Sonia, 10 more years. So let's get started, because we've said, it's not the podcasts are really, really good, in my humble opinion, when we're winning. But we are here. We're not like certain other people that just turn up when they're winning. We're not like a Robbie Williams cover album. We are here. So obviously, Ravi, I'm going to come to you first. I think you watched as much of the game as I did, so we'll. I chose the best 10 minutes, mate. I think. So
Yeah, I
obviously,
mean, I only got the last 15 as well. So
yeah, so obviously going into the game, obviously it was a disappointing result. Let's not get that twisted. Brighton, by the sounds of it, completely deserved everything they got with the win. We're not going to character assassinate players. I think it's not a secret. We all know, we've said it enough times, for players who we don't think are good enough. But obviously looking at that lineup, Ravi, does that kind of say to you, it's just another really harsh reminder that we have some squad players that are just not up for that level? Or do you think we should be winning that, or putting a better performance in than that?
I think when we've got an entirely fit squad and we put our best 11 out, there's not many. Well, evidently, there's not any team in the world better than us, judging by the last season of competitions. So, but I think when you look past that first 11, you get quite a lot of I think there's a big drop off on who you get. I think we're starting to fix that now with players like Holmberg coming in, with who offers a lot of direct running on the right hand side. But I think we're just missing a little bit of something when we're not at our strongest 11. And I think what we need to probably do in the summer is kind of raise the floor a little bit. I see a lot of these rotation players coming in. You got Adina, Frida Marnham, starting the game, and they're just not at the same level as Leah Williamson missing in that.
Who's that?
And we can talk as much as we want about Marion and Kim Little in the as a double pivot, but we've said all season it hasn't felt like it's worked for us, but we've seen it here completely. It just doesn't. Something felt missing out of this game from even the bits that I saw where we were pushing to come back into the game. But I just think we're missing something in the squad.
Cool, nice one. Nice to see a few other people in the chat. It's amazing when Arsenal lose. I love it. It's how many people turn up. Kermit, good to see you, mate. Not spoke to you for a while. Hope you're all good. Hope everyone else is good as well. Please remember to subscribe to the Arsenal Women Chat Show, Mr. Arsenal Podcast, and Highbury Fans Forever. I know some of you are already, but just make you subscribe to all three of them. Really, really helps. Laura, I'm going to come to you, obviously, with a similar sort of question. I think whatever specific players can be called out, but as a team unit, they should be putting a better performance in a game like that, shouldn't they? And no disrespect to Brighton, like I've said, we're a podcast that dishes out the respect that Brighton deserve to win, but from our point of view, they should be putting in better performances than that. And as well, what does that show the mentality for domestically? It's a complete different one from Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, let's not take any credit away for Brighton. They beat us last season as well, and we shouldn't have went into this game as confident as we did. I know I was one of the ones that was confident, but let's not take the credit away from Brighton. They do have some good players in there. They defensively have worked on some stuff, and they have got better at that over the seasons. But the reason most of these players get kept at Arsenal last season was because they're the European champions. That was the reason why these players were kept at Arsenal. And then we go out and put a performance out like we did yesterday, and there's certain players in there that are supposed to be European champions that you're looking and you're thinking, we all said it before we come on the show, that aren't even worth starting in a Charlton team. Like, and as you said, we're not going to call out players. We know who the players are, game in and game out when they get a chance. And we said it at the start of the season, Laia Kadina needs to get minutes to be able to come back up to par. And at this moment in time, I'm looking and I'm thinking, right, she's had a chance. And as many other people have had their chance as well. So I'm just wondering, in these certain players, where is a European champion fighting them? Because to me, they get a medal off the back of the other European champions when I beat them. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, this has been my sort of issue when it comes to it. I'll come to you, Chantel. It's been my issue because I've said for the last few years there's players at the club that probably didn't need to be moved on, but then we go and win the Champions League or they put in a performance and you think, how can they go and beat Lyon, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, even Gav, and then put performances in how they are. Like, let's not get it twisted. That's not the only poor performance this season. Like the Brighton that we had yesterday. Look at the Aston Villa game earlier in the season, the Tottenham game, the Man United game. So, what's your views on it? Are you kind of in agreement with us, or do you think different?
Yeah, I think it's a weird one because I think from the Brighton game, I was talking about this earlier. Like, even say we didn't have our strongest 11 start up, our bench players should be beating Brighton players. Not saying Brighton's a terrible team, but the calibre that they hold being at Arsenal with the magnitude of what we've accomplished, they should be going out there and beating teams like Brighton when we have our strong players on the bench for resting, or we've got certain players out injured. And the most worrying thing is that Little, who I think obviously she's so pivotal for our midfield and the game, she got the highest rating, and you could see how tired she was during that game from the Chelsea game. And then someone who we've said is just riding the wave with Arsenal at the moment, Cody. I do love her, but at times there's things and I'm just like, what are you doing? And she gets the second highest rating out of all the players. So then you've got Hines, Smila, Lotta, Kelly, all these other players that are not been playing as much, or they've had more rotation and they've still not got more of an impact than what one of the players that we were bashing. So I think it's definitely something we need to look into with the back lineup of when we do have a Leah and Steph out, who are we bringing in? Because at the moment, Lotta and Cody have done good, but they're not a long-term solution to keep carrying the expectations we have as a club to go out and compete in multiple trophies, rather than now slowly getting knocked out to only work on one trophy at the end of the season. And I think that's something that new players will bring if we decide to get any new players coming in.
Yeah, obviously coming to you, Amanda, I didn't want to really speak about specific players, but obviously we're chatting about Kadina. I think also we need to probably like spin the coin a little bit and look and actually remember that like Cadena is a fourth choice centre half. Obviously, if Katie Reid was fit and certainly Leah Williamson, I would be expecting one of them to have played. Where are you at with Cadena? I think like because she doesn't have the pace. We know that. Don't take a rocket scientist to work that one out. But do you think we could be in a bit harsh because she is that fourth choice defender and she is having to fill in for two big centre halves who are injured?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, she's the fourth, fifth choice centre back. You can't have 5 world-class centre backs at one club because you're not going to keep them all happy and give them the game time they want. So there is going to have to be some kind of pecking order. I like her. She is slow. Say that as someone who can barely make it up the stairs these days, but she's slow. But yesterday I thought Lotta was outstanding. She was brilliant. Samila should have had a goal. She played really well too. Obviously Kim, brilliant. But Ravi's not wrong in what he says about the depth of the squad. Definitely need to fix certain areas during the summer. But for a fourth, fifth place starter for a centre back, Cadena isn't too bad. Bottom line is Brighton just wanted it more than us yesterday. From the second they started, they were at it, and for whatever reason, Champions League hangover probably, it just didn't happen for us yesterday. But we did have some decent performances.
Yeah. Kev, coming to you obviously about the game. Obviously, Kim did speak after the game and said, obviously, it's a bad result. Like, let's not get that twisted. But it is one bad result. Do you kind of believe into that sentiment as well? And it was a bit of a Champions League hangover because it must have took a lot out of them at the bridge, mustn't it? What are you thinking?
Yes, in some respects, they would have been physically and mentally shattered after that. But we just didn't get the basics right. And we didn't seem to be able to control the ball. Composure was missing, and obviously concentration is the first thing that goes when you're knackered. But I didn't understand the starting 11, if I'm honest. As we've seen in this last block in particular, if you're starting Steiner up top, there's only one choice for number 10.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it.
I was thinking that yesterday, and I was like, what I find weird now is that obviously before Steiner would play really well with Frida Mornham, but now it feels like unless Leslie's in that 10 role, you don't get the best out of Steiner Blackstenius either, do you?
Well, I did say yesterday, I don't know where it was, but Steiner was more cross-eyed than ever yesterday. Just couldn't see in a straight line.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, obviously, Ravi, come back to you. We've been seeing Leslie Russo playing that 10.
Yep.
And her and Blackstenia seem to have struck quite a partnership, really. But watching, by the sound of it yesterday, obviously Russo dropping out is a bit of a worry that obviously that partnership, Steiner couldn't carry that on. But before, Frida and Steiner, that's what everyone was telling me, that Steiner couldn't play without Frida, wasn't it? So,
yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I would have liked to see maybe Mariona pushed up into the number 10 instead, and maybe start someone like Palova who also needs minutes. I think, but going back to this this combination of Marnham and Blackstenius, I think the logic of Blackstenius's like runs pushing the defense a little bit further back, and then that giving space for Marnham, who likes to get forward as well, that does make sense. on paper, but it's just it didn't happen, and I just think it's so ineffective at times to just try and play one way, and I think a lot of the players, especially in looking at the starting 11, they were just like they play one way. Like Blackstenius is only going to play one way of trying to break offside traps and make that run, whether she's offside 12 times or not. Marnham will always try and support and try and get a shot off, and there's no sort of plan B when it's not working for them. And I think that's where someone like Russo in the 10 does work, because she can do both things of linking up play in the 10 and also kind of pushing a bit further up as a second 9 anyway. So yeah, I was surprised to not see it starting like as Russo and Blackstenius in the sort of like 9 and 10. But yeah, this didn't really make sense to me when I saw the team line up.
It's like I've seen this film before, only 24 hours earlier. But also, just sticking with you, Ravi, like we're talking about the mentality. This is one thing that I don't really understand, is the difference domestically, the mentality with those players to the mentality in a European aspect. What can you put your finger on that to be? Obviously, we could sit here for hours and hours and say, "Oh, it should be this, should be that." Because let's get it right. Like maybe in the league it's a lot harder because it's not knockout games where Champions League is, but the FA Cup is. So what do you think the difference is? We don't see those performances what we've seen in the Champions League. Do you think it's just down to the way we play and obviously playing different in Europe?
I think what it is in domestic football, we're seen as the premier club in this country. Historically, whether Chelsea have won however many of the league titles in the last few years, but historically, and we have the biggest reputation across English football by some distance. Like we will carry that weight with us, and I think we go into a lot of domestic games thinking that we should be favorites for this, we should win, and it's almost a little bit complacent. Whereas in the European games, I think because of the stature that teams like Lyon and Barcelona have, where even though we've had good results against them in the past few years, I just think we go into some of these games as kind of underdogs because we don't have that European pedigree of winning multiple. Well, now we do have 2 Champions League titles, but we don't have the pedigree of, say, Lyon and Barcelona, where they've won multiple on the bounce. So I think for us, we go into Europe with something to prove, whereas we go into domestic games with the mindset of we should be winning this. Like, let's play at maybe 70%.
Yeah. Just want to say evening to Darren. Hope you're well, mate. There's a couple other hellos. I can't. Sorry, my voiceover's not reading the name. But I hope you're all okay.
There's Dreamcast as well. Dreamcast has come in and says,
yeah, and they've subbed, so I appreciate that. Is that a friend of yours, Ravi?
Yeah, big friend of mine.
Yeah, cool. So thank you. And so we're obviously doing something right if Ravi's talking about us. That's right. Mr. Monopoly. That's what we're calling him. From a little bird's told me. Don't challenge Ravi at a game of Monopoly. Laura, I'm going to come to you. Obviously, I know we spoke about this quite a bit last night when Kev wanted us all to go to sleep. Obviously, playing at Meadow Park, if you actually look at the record recently, it's quite a poor record, isn't it? Obviously, I think we lost the most of the games that we've lost have been at Meadow Park. So that was obviously yesterday. Manchester United in the Cup. I think Liverpool was last season.
Lyon,
Man City in the subway. Yeah. So it's easy to say, obviously, what the differences between the Emirates and Meadow Park. Like, none of us here are stupid to say, oh, well, there's not much difference. But do you really think it should have the amount of power that it does on a player's performance plan from one to the other?
Definitely, because if you look at the Emirates and how wide it is, and then you think, like, we have played how many games there in a bounce now? Oh, God knows, somebody will tell me the stat, right? So it's a big adjustment. That's basically like asking someone to do a large job to then go into a small job, and it's a large adjustment. Like, you think going from a wide pitch, being able to try and adjust your tactics to playing on a wide pitch, to then going to a smaller pitch, and a pitch that's not, like, I wouldn't say it's in the best of conditions either at Meadow Park at the moment. And the money that Arsenal fund into it should be a lot more better than what it is, but it never ever seems like good condition pitch to play on at the moment. So, like, it's hard to say, because the girls are getting really used to the Emirates, and then they're being told, you know what, actually, you're going to be playing at Meadow Park because we don't have the space and the time for you to slot into the Emirates. So I think that's where the suggestion for a women's ground comes into most people's suggestion. Not that me or James or anybody else has asked that this should be built. It's a suggestion, and it stops this whole crap of, well, how is your schedule going to play out if we just have our own ground anyway? Like, it would stop this whole crap of, well, we need to wait to see what the men's schedule is because a women's game is going to get moved, and then it is, most of us have said, yeah, the game won't be moved to Meadow Park, but like, we do have people out there that are worrying that the Leon game is going to get moved from the Emirates to Meadow Park, but we know that it's not, because the Meadow Park's being used in the Saturday. So there's all these confusions. So it just puts stuff like that to bed. It's just it just stops it all in terms of. But we know it's not going to happen. But in terms of Arsenal, they need to come up with a better schedule going forward in a season that concerns women. What plan will we have in place if the women do progress further in Europe? What plan will we have in place if the women do go further in the FA Cup? What plan will we have in place if they do go further in the Subway Cup? They need to come up with a better plan than what they do have at the moment in terms of the Emirates. And then, of course, they need to really consider, is Meadow Park better for the women at the moment, which, as a fan, I think we've outgrown Meadow Park pitch and fan base wise.
Cool. I just want to say, I love it how many people that are non-Arsenal that are in the chat. So thanks for actually taking time out of your life to put your little comments in. So it's not my time you're wasting, it's actually your own. So yeah. A bit like what Dorian has said. I'll come to you, Amanda. Kind of Meadow Park has become a bit more like an away game, hasn't it? Because obviously, like Laura said, going from the atmosphere to at the Emirates to what Meadow Park, it's really not the same as what it was, is it?
No, definitely not. I saw a stat on one of the websites earlier, and I can't remember the numbers, and I wish I'd screenshotted it, but it just demonstrated that how much like Meadow Park basically an away game is, like the amount of losses we have in comparison to what we get at the Emirates. And I agree with everything Laura said. Like, from a fan point of view, I think Meadow Park's now awful. I mean, just like as a personal point of view, yesterday you spend more time queuing for toilet and food and drink than anything else there. It's just not set up to be at capacity. It feels a bit crap. The only good point is it's easy to get to and it's easy to park at, but personally much prefer the Emirates, obviously. I definitely think we've outgrown it. Like, gone are the days when we were getting 300-400 people and it was it was suitable. Laura's right about the pitch as well. It's shorter, it's less wide. It's just, you can't expect them. It's like I think it's like getting someone to pay on a snooker table at the Crucible and then going down the pub and playing on one that's got like bent sticks and dodgy balls. It's not the same. So
Yeah.
I'm firmly in next season. We need, I mean, we talked, I read all the chats last night, a specific ground for the women would be amazing, but whether that's likely or not to happen, but I think they need to sort the scheduling out because, we can get the numbers at the Emirates, 40 odd thousand. It's decent. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think also like we know that obviously I think the debate is a healthy one, and I see the pros, I see the cons of it. If they had someone like actually that knew how to do their job at the start of the season when looking at these fixtures, like it's not like you're knowing 2 days before. So Chantel, just coming to you, obviously when it comes to Meadow Park and the stuff, can you see a way that Arsenal do phase near enough everything to the Emirates? Because obviously it's having a negative effect on the players, isn't it? And then, like for example, even the crowd number was quite down yesterday. But do you put that down to obviously being Easter, or do you think people are starting to get disillusioned from Meadow Park?
Yeah, I know, like, I drive, so Emirates and Meadow Park is easy for me, but I know for a lot of Londoners that don't drive, it's not the easiest to get to Meadow Park. Like, my friend gets the train and she says how much of a ball ache it is compared to the Emirates.
Yeah.
And it was like a bank holiday weekend, so I feel like most people were preoccupied doing other things. But even the people that went to the game, I felt the atmosphere was just not there. It wasn't our usual atmosphere. It felt a bit dull. We had the odd chant for one, and then there was a pause, then there was another chant, then there was another pause. I think like you could literally, like, if someone coughed, you could hear it in the stands. And then as I think it was Dorian or Darren, like Kate McCabe came on and it kind of like boosted everyone again. Russo came on, like obviously she was like clapped and that lot, but I think we as fans will sometimes get hyped up by the players and how the team's playing. And as the team didn't play the greatest, I don't think we as fans were doing enough justice with boosting the players' morale. But yeah, I think Meadow Park's a hard one because like you're closer, so like you can cheer more and you hear more, but at the same time, it seems to not be working for us there anymore. And is it down to like the different size and the conditions? But like these are players that are higher caliber, so they should be able to transfer certain skills from one pitch to another. I thought the formation of how we played on such a narrow pitch was one that was working. Like you saw Hines and Holmberg get pushed really high up as wingers, and then you had Beth and Kelly kind of drop and be more inward. And I think it should have been the other way round, where Hines and Holmberg kind of went higher but inwards, and then we had our wingers to push really high up in the corners and cross the balls in. And then if Brighton gets the like possession for a counter, our defence aren't as high up where they have to retreat back as much. And I think that would have maybe set them up for a little bit better for that style of pitch and play. But moving forwards with like, shall we move to the Emirates or get our own stadium? I just think it takes some really smart person who doesn't get paid a lot of money like us lot and just get all the different like FA, UEFA together and just say, you know what, let's just work our calendars together, yeah? Do it for the football, do it for the fans, because it's not common sense. That's really all they have to do is work out their skin. But you know, people in higher roles get paid the big bucks, don't really have common sense. So until that happens, I'm afraid the whole scheduling of mishap games and going
Don't
to
come
it
into it.
would be the way it's going to be for a while.
Yeah. No, I agree. They don't need to pay me a lot of money. I think I would even be able to do it. I think that's how easy it is.
Nope.
Kev, before we kind of wrap up talking about the game, obviously there was a penalty shout, wasn't there, on Leslie Russo? What was your opinion on that? Do you think there was enough in it to be a penalty? I think we've seen them given, we've seen them not given, haven't we? What was your view with being at the game?
Is that the one that happened while I was walking back to the bike?
Oh, it might have been there, that one.
Because
That's pretty late, yeah.
for the first time ever,
Mm.
I walked out on 85
Okay.
minutes. I'd seen enough.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, that one.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popping back to the scheduling bit for a minute.
Yeah.
Common sense will never even enter the conversation. The only way it works is if you have got your own ground. Because with draws for multiple cups taking place for the men's team, the women's team, the under 21s, because you have to factor all that in for Meadow Park as well. Fixtures, like I say, they change all season long because of cup games. You don't know if all the teams go all the way in their various cup competitions. I think you'd even struggle to fit the excess games in at Meadow Park with the amount of our teams that play there. We're not going to get our own ground, not in North London anyway.
There's nowhere to build it, is there?
No.
First of all, unless you knock down the train stations, but about that.
Yeah.
Who needs training parks, to be honest?
Yeah, there will always be congestion problems as far as grounds go. We're not lucky enough to have somewhere 50 miles away where we can have our own ground because like the Joy, you ain't going to get anybody turn up. So,
well, they
you pay
don't.
money, you take your choice.
Yeah. Ravi, just coming back to you, obviously about the stadium chat.
Yeah.
Where do you sit with it? I think where I sit with it is I understand it, but being a Arsenal men's fan, I saw how much crap and how many bad years we had for the Emirates to be built. There was a lot of money, wasn't there? It was like we had to sell players and all that stuff. And do you ever see that being the situation? And before people think, it doesn't mean that I think that the women shouldn't. Obviously, if Highbury was available, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Let's be honest. But where do you sit on the stadium chat?
So Man City, for example, they have a purpose-built stadium for the academy and women, and they've always had that. But that's as part of their training complex that is however big in whatever part of Manchester that's in, and however much blood money they've spent to build it all. But we're not gonna unless London Colney gets a massive upgrade that has its own stadium in there where say it's like 30, 40, 50,000, however big you want to make it. That's the only way that's really going to happen. But so for me, I think Meadow Park is not fit for purpose anymore. And what Chantel and Kevin, kind of everyone was saying, it's not really up to the how far either team get into the cup. It's not anything to do with sort of the calendar or anything like that. It's mostly down to the broadcasters. They will be the ones to decide when games are being played, and if they want to move Arsenal men to the Sunday, if they want to move Arsenal men to the Monday or the Friday, or if they want to put the women on at midday on, you know, a Tuesday or whatever. Like that, it's one of those things where it's just like the media broadcasters will be the ones to dictate when football matches are getting played. Any given weekend, Arsenal men could be at home, Arsenal men could be away. The women could be at home, the women could be away. It's really up to the broadcasters to decide exactly when these games are going to get played.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the Emirates should be the home of Arsenal Football Club, not just the Arsenal men first team. And I think the Arsenal have done a real good job of putting parity between how they treat both the men and the women, and to a point, the under 21s when they get into the latter stages of their competitions. So for me, I like the fact that we do play all of our games at Meadow Park. Oh, not Meadow Park, the Emirates.
So you're in the minority
Freudian
there.
slip there, Freudian. So yeah, I like the fact that like we use the Emirates. It's easy to get to for a lot of people. There's plenty of transport links. Most weekends they're all working, and Arsenal seem to treat the club as one entity, as opposed to so many other clubs where they've kind of segregated or even sold their women's teams to themselves or other like corporations or whatever. So I fully respect the way that we deal with everything as a club.
I do agree with you with the broadcasters though, because like if you switch it, like you have a look at the men's games when they happen, like there's teams that have their own men's ground that don't like have to specifically like like for example, say like Arsenal have to play Newcastle, or Newcastle have to play Arsenal at the Emirates at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night, or like the broadcasters don't care where you're playing your game. And I still think the same will probably happen even if Arsenal women did have their own stadium for hypothetical reasons. Like I still think they would say, "Oh, do you know what? You're going to be playing Liverpool at Anfield on a Sunday night at whatever time if they wanted to, or Sunday morning at 12, or and vice versa." And I think that's what you have to think as well. Remember that, and I do see the pros and cons of it. Arsenal Football Club are a very global club. Let's not get that right wrong. Like you're going to have people traveling from all over the world, so and you're never ever going to please everyone. But and I think if you can sort the broadcasters out first, that's the main issue. I think you have to, like, let's be honest, why would you put Arsenal versus Brighton on at Meadow Park on Easter Sunday at that time when, I don't know, maybe they could have played it on the Saturday, maybe because it wasn't obviously Arsenal was away. Do you know what I mean? So we had this same conversation the other week, guys, didn't we? With the Brighton game that got called off. Why didn't they play it at the Amex? Well, we can't be biased. Why did Arsenal not say you can play it at the Emirates?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's a catch-22, really. I think, to be honest.
Yeah. I just think, you know, this whole weekend in advance, we knew that Arsenal were going to be like the men were going to be away at Southampton this weekend, regardless of whether that was going to be the Saturday or the Sunday or Friday or Monday or whatever. We knew that we were going to be at home on this game. We could have easily sold tickets as part of like an Easter package. Like really push out some marketing, get family in for like 20 quid or whatever. Like people would have done that easily. You could have done that on the Saturday and got maybe 10,000 people in. And you know, we would have been way more comfortable being at home at the Emirates, because if we are seriously treating the Emirates as the permanent home of the men and women, play the FA Cup game there, regardless if you have 5,000 people there, it's still going to be more people than going to get a Meadow Park. But also, the first team is way more comfortable playing there.
It's just like Gav said. Obviously, Chelsea played Tottenham today. Why could Arsenal not play their game today? Like Chelsea did. because it's down to broadcasters, mate, who picks the games. They obviously, some reason, wanted Arsenal versus Brighton at 1 on Easter Sunday.
Contracts.
Well, yeah, and it's all about the money in it as well. Like sometimes, but we could have another show just about TV broadcasters, I think, if we wanted to. But cool. We'll wrap it up there. We have got a giveaway to do. Laura, are you okay to do that?
She's current. There she is.
I don't think.
I'm currently
I knew
here.
I knew she was around because I think she was typing.
She's
But
like Beetlejuice. Say her name and she's appear.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry,
Laura
my
Hendry.
dinner arrived early. I was expecting it to
No,
come
you're
after the show, but so I
That's
had to
fine.
hook jump off. 2 seconds, let me share this.
I'll just tell them what it is while you're doing that. So obviously we've got a giveaway from the brilliant Ruth Beck. It's a signed Leah Williamson photo. If you remember her. I thought it was ironic to do this in as it's the international break. So hopefully we might see her afterwards. But yeah,
is
so
that
thank you
is that
to
going up for
everyone.
people?
So thank you to everyone who took part and subscribed and all that. I really appreciate it, and good luck.
Is it showing up for people? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no worries.
The winner is Leah Williamson.
Imagine that.
Oh,
And it's one of our new followers on obviously Twitter and stuff. And it's Adriana988A. So we will reach out to her on
Nice one.
Twitter and get
Yeah,
that sorted.
congratulations, Adriana. So yeah, we'll be back hopefully with another giveaway soon. But obviously, it really, really helps, and we're very lucky to have these sort of giveaways. So appreciate that. But definitely go and give Ruth Beck a follow. She's got some good stuff on there and some newer stuff. So, but yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone for today. Obviously, we're going to wrap it up there because not really much else to talk about, to be honest. So just want to say thank you to some of the people in the chat. Obviously, all the usual lot. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Obviously, we're going to have a bit of a break from the Arsenal shows because of the international break. But for those who don't know, we are starting to do non-Arsenal stuff. So there's going to be hopefully like a show for during the international break, which I think Laura is going to be doing. So yeah, obviously keep posted with that. Remember, please hit all the subscribe buttons for all the channels. It really helps. So I just want to say thank you to my guest, Kev. Thank you for coming on. I know it wasn't one of the best shows, but we're here, mate.
Hey, yeah, whatever the weather,
Exactly.
we're on it.
Exactly. Yeah, so I appreciate you being here as well. Ravi, thank you as well, mate. It's good to have you back on the show. Hopefully, I was hoping it was going to be a better, more positive show than that, but you brought the positivity as well. So thank you, mate.
yeah. No worries. Always good to be here. And yeah, hopefully you can come on a bit more regularly.
Yeah. Oh, and also just something, and I haven't even told Ravi this, so it's going to be news to him. But obviously, next season for the men's FPL, me and Ravi are going to be doing a regular FPL show. So obviously, thanks to Jonesy, but he's going to take a step back, and Ravi's going to be doing it with me. So, yeah, there you go, Ravi. There's your news. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
there's your Easter egg.
well, it's the best Easter
Yeah.
gift I'll have.
Yeah.
I'll have this year. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Hopefully not. Hopefully there's something in May. But well, I'll take the FPL love as well. Chantel, really appreciate it. I know you're in a car park in Tesco's somewhere in Southampton, probably.
I'm actually heading up your way, so it's all good.
Oh, that's fine. Don't talk to me about Southampton. But I have promised everyone that I'm never ever going to an Arsenal versus Southampton game at St Mary's ever again. Just not doing it. I've been 4 times. We've lost 4. That is not. Just not now. So yeah, but it really means a lot. You taking time out to come on the show.
Nah, always happy to be on the show and be with you lovely people. And again, I do apologise for Southampton. I am Arsenal through and through, I promise, even if I do live in that shithole of a place.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll let you off. Amanda, always positive and
Thank you.
smiling as always. So thank you. You brought the shining light of the podcast. You are,
Oh,
especially
thanks.
when we're all miserable bastards because our like weekend's been like destroyed by 22 people. So
Thank you. My lucky socks got holes in them yesterday. I think that might be the reason that we lost. So
oh,
I've thrown them in the
It was-
bin and I'll get some new ones for when we get
It
back.
was called Holy Sunday for a reason.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's the breaking news for the international break. Amanda has bought new socks, so at
Lucky
least she
socks.
knows
New
when to
lucky
bring
socks.
at least she knows when to bring the right ones, not like what we done the other year. Cool.
Thank you.
No worries. And then Laura, thank you as always. Thank you for everything you do. Even when we don't agree on everything, we're still really good friends, and yeah, you're still amazing. So
It's a debate that had to be had in it. Some people
Yeah.
like it, some people don't. Some people like Freedom Annam, some people don't. There you
I
go.
don't know.
So
I think that's
we
gone down.
all
a bit
can't
then.
agree.
I think that percentage has gone from 25 to about 5 now. So I have to say you was right all along. But yeah, so obviously we will be back. Just keep an eye on our shows, social. Sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head when we'll be back for the Arsenal stuff. But obviously, like we say, all keep smiling, enjoy the international break if you can. Just remember, be kind, and good night, everyone.
See ya.